So, you're getting divorced and it's possibly the worst time of your life. Explaining it to everyone, the awkwardness, the difficulties of going through it, the arguments. And now comes the real challenge, splitting the assets. Who gets the house? Who gets the car? Who gets the dog? Who gets the air fryer that both of you used all the time? If we haven't met before, I'm Hayder Shikara, a lawyer, former Olympian, and now full-time professional at helping people untangle legal messes without losing their sanity or their assets in this case. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how property and assets are actually divided after separation in Australia. Let's get into it. There is no magic 50-50 rule. A lot of people think we've separated, that means everything is going to get split right down in the middle. That is just not the case. There's no automatic 50-50 rule in Australia, and the family court just doesn't grab a calculator, hit divide by 2 and call it a day. Instead, it's about what's fair and equitable, which might be 50-50 in some cases, it might be 60-40, it might be 70-30, or else it might be something completely different. It just depends on every situation. The process is a lot more thoughtful than thinking something like, you can take the couch and I'll take the TV. Now the process follows 4 basic steps, and here's how a court looks at dividing assets. Step 1 is all about identifying and valuing the assets at hand. We're talking everything here: house, savings, cars, superannuation, any investment properties, businesses, crypto assets. It could be a handbag collection. Anything that has a potential value will be added into a balance sheet and split up between the parties. The next step is to look at the contributions of each party and understand who brought what into a relationship, who earned which income, who stayed at home with the kids, and figuring out what contributions were given to the asset pool. And those contributions can be both financial and non-financial, so raising the kids, doing renovations, even supporting a partner through a difficult time, through a medical time or through studies. All of that counts. After that, we need to assess the future needs of both parties. And so what does that look like? What is your life going to be after separation? Do you have any health issues that need to be considered? Are you going to be a single parent? Are you predominantly looking after the children? Is there a large disparity in the income difference between you and your partner? If so, the court will then make an adjustment based on what each of you will need moving forward. And finally, the last step here is to make sure that the agreement and the split is just and equitable. Basically, is the outcome fair? That's the final test. And it's just to make sure that there isn't anything that has been missed. Now, it's important to understand property doesn't include just the house. Property and family law includes savings, superannuation, businesses, shares, crypto, NFTs, any kind of collectibles, and it also includes your debts. So even debts like credit cards and loans, if you own it or owe it, it goes into the property pool. And no, it's extremely difficult to hide things in Australia where everything really has to be under your name. If it's a bank account, if it's a car, if it's a house, if it's a property, there's ways for people to find out who it's registered to, so it's almost impossible to have these things hidden. One thing that people often get surprised about is superannuation. It is part of the split, and it's not something that's excluded just because you can't touch it at this point in time. Super is treated just like any other asset, and even though you can't access it until you're older, it can still be split in the present day. And if you think about it, typically one partner has a larger super balance than the other, and there might need to be a bit of a balancing act in order to make it a little bit more fair on the other side of the separation or divorce. Just think about it in a scenario where one person has been staying at home looking after the kids and the other party has been at work and accumulating that super. So it isn't really fair if one person is getting a great retirement and the other isn't. So yes, your retirement fund is on the table. Now, you don't need to go to a courtroom in order to split the assets. You're able to do so by yourselves or with the help of lawyers, and they can help you do the separation process through either a mediation, or it could be a sit down, or it could just be through basic negotiations with one another. If you and your ex can come to an agreement, you can make it official by doing one of 2 things. You can sign a binding financial agreement, or you can apply to the court for consent orders. Both are legally enforceable and can be done without setting foot into a courtroom. So if things are amicable, or at least somewhat tolerable, you should get it sorted privately and move on with your life faster. This means you're going to spend way less on legal fees and avoid all the drama of the courtroom. Now, names on bank accounts, titles, houses. People can get quite caught up on whose name is on which asset. And this one surprises people. That house is in my name, or that bank account is in my name, or that super is in my name, or I had that car before we met. Cool story, it doesn't really matter that much. If you've been in a de facto relationship or married, assets are considered joint, regardless of whose name is on the title. So if you thought maybe you had a secret stash of savings because it's in your sole name, It's just not how the court is going to view it, and all assets are going to be able to be split despite as to whose name what asset is in. Now, the same rule actually also applies to debts as well. Again, it doesn't really matter whose name those debts are under. If your ex has racked up a $30,000 afterpay bill on shoes and personal loans, guess what? Those debts may still be shared, depending on when and why they were taken out. All of those things will need to be considered. So it's not just about this person's credit card debt staying with that person. It could also mean that those debts need to be shared and they could be seen as joint liabilities. Time limits, something that you need to be mindful of. You don't have forever to deal with the asset settlement. If you are married, you have 12 months from the date of your divorce, and that's when you can apply to the court in order to get financial orders. And if you're in a de facto relationship, you've got 2 years from the date of separation. And if you miss the deadline, you're going to have to apply to the court for a special exemption saying why you're out of time, which can add an extra layer of difficulty or complexity. So try and finalize your financial separation as quickly as possible. And the good news is you can still divide property even if you're not divorced yet. So if you've been waiting around for your divorce, you don't need to do so. As a matter of fact, most people actually do the property split before they divorce because they can just do it earlier. People don't want to have that financial responsibility lingering over their heads. So it's in everyone's best interest to do the financial separation as soon as possible. And I've also seen the flip side of that. When people let it drag on for long periods of time, it can really complicate things because then you start mixing other elements, post-separation contributions, money that was earned after you've separated, what happens there, what happens if you've received an inheritance after you've separated. Things like that don't have to be considered if you're able to do the financial separation early on. Now, the last tip that I want to give is that it's not about winning, it's about moving on and getting on with your life, because separating is hard, it's emotional. And when it comes to money, things get personal very fast. The goal is to reach a fair outcome so you can both just move on with your lives, rebuild and start fresh. The sooner you can do that, the better. So that's it, 10 things you need to know about splitting assets after a divorce in Australia. No, it's not fun. Yes, it can be complicated, but with the right advice and a little bit of maturity, you can sort it out without turning it into World War III. If you found this helpful, hit like and subscribe. And if you need help working out a fair split, we do this stuff all the time. You focus on your future and we'll help you sort out the rest.